Welcome to week 5, and this will cover also week 6, so you'll have 2 weeks to complete this project. This is the 2-point perspective project. We're going to basically draw out a cityscape. The assignment that's given to you is you have one outside 2-point perspective and one indoor 2-point perspective. The example that I'm going to show you is going to be the outside perspective. We're going to do a city block. The video that's online also that you can research will do an inside view as well, so you'll have both resources to refer to. Again, don't forget to submit your discussion initial Wednesday night and replies 2 and 3 by Sunday at midnight. For a 2-point perspective, you basically have a vanishing point. These vanishing points are in coordination with the left and the right side of your composition. The 2 vanishing points also represent the horizon, and we're going to basically circle those to give you a better view of how this is going to develop. I'm also going to make kind of like a very light imaginary line that will show me my horizon area. Now this is basically, even though it's 2 points left and right, this is my 1-point perspective for how the city block is going to look. City block is going to be coming toward me. I'm going to look down each side, left and right, around a building. So that particular building would go dead center, similar to an axis or a crosshair inside a gun sight. So we have almost similar to a crosshair. You can measure this out, you can be very consistent, or you can just use a regular straight edge. That's really up to you. I'm just using a straight edge. It's a little bit easier for me. And to develop your city block, you can have different types of views. You can actually take a photograph of a block outside or of a house, of a building, of an object, as long as it has a horizon point and an apex, or something that you can basically use as your second point to give your picture depth. That's what we're working on, to creating depth and perception. Depth and perception. What I'm doing now is I'm laying out a grid. And this grid is going to give me an idea of my 12 o'clock position and my 6 o'clock position, and how the building will form and then dissipate into the vanishing points. This is a basic starting point. From this point on, I'm just going to go ahead and finish the drawing. I'm going to shadow it. I'm going to pick my light source, and for the sake of this particular narrative, I'm going to put my light source at the 2 o'clock position. And I'm just going to draw it right there. Okay? During your projects, if you get frustrated and the shadowing is not going correctly, don't worry, continue on, finish your project, get the feedback on it. You may want to go back later and fix it, and you can get reevaluated at that particular time. But finish the project, don't get frustrated. For this point, I'll go ahead and draw along. Draw on. Okay, so you ready? Now, as we're finishing this picture up, this composition, I hope you guys have had just as much fun as I have. You can kind of play around with it and add different things in, and maybe even things that don't belong there. You can add them in, kind of make it your own. But remember, one has to be outside composition, the other one has to be an inside composition. You'll have 2 weeks to complete this project. Make sure that you put your light source in a decent place. Make sure that you don't put it into a place that's going to create too much difficulty. Try not to put the light source at an infinite area, in other words, an ambient light where it's shining directly on it. It just really doesn't make much sense to do. Put it in a 2 o'clock position and use the left side for the shadowing and the right side for your highlights. Other than that, we'll see you next week.